Today we'll be addressing a topic that many of us can relate to, neck pain. Now the question I commonly get asked is my shoulder pain connected to my neck pain? We'll explore the connection between shoulder pain and neck pain to know how they're contributing to each other or if one is causing the other. Whether you're seeking relief from neck pain or shoulder pain, or just curious about the connection between the two, I guarantee you'll learn something new in this video. Let's dive into the fascinating relationship between shoulder and neck pain. First off, what causes shoulder pain? So if you have shoulder pain specifically that's not being caused by your neck pain, there's several structures in the shoulder themselves that can cause pain. So you've got the rotator cuff muscles. Many people are familiar with these muscles, and they're the four that help to keep the shoulder joint in place when you're moving your arm. A lot of people have had a rotator cuff tear or strain and felt issues in their shoulder specifically because of this. Now the shoulder also has several intricate joints that work together. It's always fascinating to me to know that your pinky finger, your little finger over here, is connected to your axial skeleton only by this joint right here. This is your SC joint, which shows you the importance of all the muscles and joints working together to be able to get your pinky all the way towards the ceiling. And of course, with all those muscles and all those joints, there's a whole bunch of bursas in there. Bursas are fluid-filled sacs, and they help to protect the joint from the muscle and the ligament that's going over it. So if you're having very specific pinpoint localized pain in your shoulder, my guess is that it's either a muscle, a ligament, a joint, or a bursa problem. All right, let's say that your shoulder pain did start as a pinpoint pain in your shoulder, and now you're starting to feel some neck pain. So you're wondering, how does it go from the shoulder to the neck? Well, there's a lot of connections in between the two, and it's many of the things that we've already talked about. First off, the muscles. You have a ton of muscles that start at the base of your neck that go into your shoulder. Specifically, the muscle that most people know about is the upper trapezius. So that's this big muscle right here. Starts at the base of your occiput, which is your head bone, and goes all the way into your shoulder. A lot of people get a lot of strain with this when they're sitting at a computer for a long period of time because you tend to be kind of in this posture a little bit, and you can get a huge strain in your upper trapezius. However, there's also smaller muscles in there like the levator scapula, which attaches onto your shoulder blade, and your scalenes, which are these in front, which attach onto your first ribs. Now, you may not be aware that your first rib is located right underneath your clavicle. So your clavicle is your bone right here that you can easily touch. Your first rib is located right underneath it. So it's intricately connected, that first rib and that neck, and it's through the scalenes. Now, obviously, the nerves that are in the shoulder start from the neck. So all of your nerves start in your spinal cord. So you have your brain, your spinal cord, which goes all the way down. And through each vertebrae, you have a nerve that pokes out on each side, starting from C1, going all the way down your spine to L5. The thing is, if you have shoulder tension or improper posture, then that can actually put increased stress on the nerve, which sends that signal up to the spine. So some people start with neck pain that goes down into the shoulder, but some people start with shoulder pain that travels up into their neck. Another way shoulder pain can travel up into your neck is through your posture. Obviously, when your shoulder's hurting, you start not sitting correctly, you start not moving that shoulder correctly, which can then put strain through the muscles, through the ligaments, through the joints, through the nerves even, to send that pain back up into the neck. So what started in the shoulder can travel up. And one other thing that can cause shoulder pain to lead to neck pain is improper breathing. That's what I was talking about the scalenes earlier, because those muscles are in the front here and they attach to that first rib. If you are in pain, you tend to use these muscles up in here, those scalenes, which are the accessory muscles of respiration, instead of using the big diaphragm, which was actually built for that purpose. So the pain in your shoulder can cause abnormal breathing, which can then lead to neck pain. All right, so the most important question, what can you do about it? If you're having shoulder pain, how can you keep it from moving up into your neck? Or if it started coming up into your neck, what can you do about it? The first thing that you can do is watch your posture. Make sure that you're sitting in a good position. You want your shoulders over your hips when you're sitting. You want your feet equally on the ground to make sure your shoulder and neck are properly supported. The other thing that you can do if you're just starting to have shoulder pain is do some stretching. Keeping that shoulder moving normally and lubricated will decrease the impact to the joints, the ligaments, and the muscles, and keep that pain from moving up into your neck. Another thing that you can work on is your breathing. If you're having pain anywhere in your body, it's really important to make sure that you're focused on that deep diaphragmatic breathing. We're going to link a video here that talks about how to breathe properly, because in today's society, many people don't, whether they're in pain or not. But it's really important because when you get into pain, you start using those accessory muscles, and that just actually makes everything worse. And one of the most powerful tools if you're having shoulder pain is to do some cardiovascular exercise. Now, of course, you can only do exercises that you can do pain-free, because if you're doing something that's causing pain, it's just going to make everything worse. So finding an exercise that your shoulder can tolerate, but that can get the blood pumping, brings in those healing cells to heal whatever is your root problem. Now, you have to find a cardiovascular exercise that you actually enjoy doing, because it's really hard to do something that you don't enjoy. But even something like walking can be impactful when we're talking about shoulder pain. There's decreased stress through the shoulder with walking, and you tend to get that good arm movement. So that can be a really great exercise that can have a huge impact. Again, as long as it doesn't increase your pain. So there you have it. If you have started to have shoulder pain that is pinpoint in that you only have pain in one area, and you're sure that it started in the shoulder, those are some tips of things you can do to keep it from traveling up into your neck. Once it gets into your neck, the impact to the rest of your body can be pretty significant. So I highly recommend implementing these strategies today to eliminate your shoulder pain so it doesn't travel to your neck.